I never thought we'd be here. Not after 2 years. And we're tired.
All right, man. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. I always plan to talk about this case. And today the Daily Mail has released some information. Most of you guys have probably already saw it on other platforms. At 11:42 Eastern Standard Time, December the 14th, updated at 1:57 Eastern Standard Time, December the 14th, December 2022. This is bad, man. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had reservations about this case. I had reservations about the law enforcement agencies' moves and tactics on this case. And I'm not here to, air quotes, cape for anybody who's committed crimes. We have justice systems for that. You will hear me say that a lot. I'm just here to remind us all that no matter how many emotions these situations evoke, and I've already read through some of this, and I'm going to tell you, it evokes emotions. It evokes emotions, innocent until. And that's why we need to remember these things, because we don't want to create another Clemente Aguilar case. Going on, look at my last videos. We don't want to be sending people to prison for 14 and a half years, 10 and a half of them on death row for crimes that they didn't commit. We don't want to do that. So we want to get justice on both sides of these coins. We want to honor the victims by getting justice and keeping our community safe by getting the right people. And we don't want to serve anybody injustice by, falsely accusing them and like I said, landing them in a situation where they're apart from their families for a long time. That's horrible too. You wouldn't want it to happen to anyone that you love, or yourself, obviously. So I did this video, but I wasn't recording, and I did say some things that I wish I was recording because I felt like it needed to be said. But again, I've already read through this, and I just want to preface it with every accused person is innocent until. We have a justice system, and part of that justice system demands that every accused person is innocent until. So I'm going to get right to it, but I'm going to tell you, I listen to other true crime content creators. They don't keep the emotion out of it. They don't keep a balanced perspective, and that's what I'm going for here. Let's get to it. Exclusive from the Daily Mail. Murdered Delphi teens were intended victims of botched child sex kidnap plot. Cops believe as investigators dig up dead cat to try to match hairs found on girl's alleged killer's pet. And by that cat, they mean Richard Allen. That was his cat. The neighbor, which the article is going to detail, had already seen the cops in his yard digging. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm thinking one angle that I'm looking at when I tell you I was hesitant about how the police were handling this case is how much of this evidence is just too convenient. Are they planting evidence here? I'm going to say it plainly. Are they planting evidence here? That's one thing I'm keeping in mind. But the neighbors seen this, and then this is what the caption says, and then it goes to say, Richard Allen was allegedly part of a child sex ring that planned to kidnap and rape Liberty German, 14, and Abigail Williams, 13, in 2017. Rest in peace to those babies. Allen has ties to pedophile Keegan Klein, who was previously named as a suspect. Both have also been linked to Ron Logan. The girls were found on his property. Sources say police dug up Allen's cat to match hairs found on the girls' bodies. Murdered Delphi teenagers Liberty German and Abigail Williams were victims of a botched kidnapping plot hatched by members of a local pedophile ring. Many people will stop right there and they will build their entire coverage of this case on that one sentence. They're going to absolutely leave out the rest of the article where the police are letting you know, the investigators, the detectives, the professionals are letting you know this is all still alleged. We have evidence leading in this direction, we think, but we have to go prove this. Literally, guys, there have been people murdered because evidence said they committed crimes that posthumously the evidence showed it was no way that they did it. Do you think it's okay to just, what are we going to say to them? Obviously, we can't say anything to them. What would you say to their loved ones? My bad. We got to go slow on these things because we don't honor even the real victims that we know have been victims. We don't honor Libby and Abby and Libby by getting the wrong people here. And we don't make our communities any safer. So I'm not here to cape for Richard Allen or any of these guys. I'm just saying, if it was you, I would be saying, we got to go slow. Because that right there the murdered teenagers were part of a botched kidnapping plan, and they're going to say, bam, that's it. Watch. The article is going to say, this is what's being alleged. They have to go to court and prove that. This is just one of a host of disturbing new details and allegations. There you go. What, less than 15 words later? Details and allegations that can be exclusively revealed by DailyMail.com, including gruesome details about how the girls died and that police dug up the prime suspect's dead cat, once again, that's Richard Allen, in an effort to match hairs found on their bodies. This is where it gets real for me, and I just said I got to go ahead and make this video. Now, we face to face with it. We're not going to talk in codes. Either the police are planting evidence here or Richard Allen. What you got going on, homie? Because them girls did not deserve that, and we feel a way about it, bro. And those are not the words that I wanted to use. What's going on? We got a bullet matching your gun or a gun that allegedly belongs to you. You guys don't want to hear this, but if I had time and inclination, I would put videos in here to prove to you that all of that can be manufactured. I'm telling you, and not so difficult. It was not so difficult to manufacture, especially when you're talking about cops and people. Do you know how much pressure there is on everybody to solve this case? You don't think they would just put anybody there to get the pressure out, to get the pressure off of them, to get the pressure out of the public? The true crime community wants blood. We already established that. We don't care who we accuse. You don't think they would just hang up a false Judas here? And I'm not saying that because now I'm saying Richard Allen, they false Judas in you? Or is this the second undeniable piece of evidence linking you to these babies, homie? I don't know. They're digging up your cat. Allegedly, the hairs already was found on the babies, right? Abby and Libby. So now we got to dig up your cat and the hairs from the cat. Now I got to talk to a catologist. How often do cats have the same hair? I don't need y'all. Some of y'all, we're going to talk about DNA. I got a link on my page right now of a young man whose own DNA almost got him convicted of murder. DNA is not as infallible as we've been led to believe, just like eyewitness testimony wasn't at one time when they said it was. So was the lie detector test. I forgot the official name for it, the polygraph test. None of these things are as infallible as they are sold to us initially. You know why? I'm going to tell you the very logical reason that we all know they come from humans. Let's be for real. All right. The bullet, the casing, the gun, the hat, your cat.
I'm pretty sure you meant hair, sir. Not hat, hair, sir.
What we got going on, man? We got problems. The revelations come just 2 weeks after authorities released a redacted version of the probable cause affidavit that led to Richard Allen's arrest. Allen, 50, was charged on 2 counts of murder on October 28, 5 years after 14-year-old Libby and 13-year-old Abby were found in Delphi, Indiana on February 13, 2017, 5 days after my birthday. I said 5 days, well, I'm off a little bit, but I'm glad I was because I won't be telling y'all when my birthday is. All alleged, guys, innocent until, but it's just stacking up to you, homie. DailyMail.com has learned that shortly after his arrest, one of Allen's neighbors recalled seeing police digging in his yard. Remember, I told you guys that may have been in a video that I recorded and wasn't recording. Now, DailyMail.com has been told they were digging up the family's dead cat, whose hair proved a match for the samples found on one of the victims. Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClellan has openly stated that he believes Allen is not the only actor involved in this. I'm going to stop right here. I remember when this case was breaking and they was arresting Richard Allen, and all you guys had other people, and then you had him, and it looks like it's allegedly a ring thing going on here. And the thing that threw me off was y'all jumped on him too quick. One, after his arrest, after most of you had never even mentioned his name, much less heard it. And number two, the prosecutors, they were so hesitant with this probable cause affidavit. I was mocking it and calling it the why we don't have SHIT affidavit, because they were like, we don't want to release it because it's going to give up information. And when it came out, the only information that was redacted was a couple of names. And it's like, you put all this pressure not to release this because you couldn't hide some names from us. I'm real big on credibility, man. And I just look at things and like, how does this speak to the credibility of the point that you're trying to make or the position you're trying to take. And that just didn't sit well with me, that they made all that fuss about releasing this information just for that. And I was already, you know what I mean, on the fence about how a casing matching his gun, or allegedly his gun. I was on the fence about all that. I watched way too much true crime. I've seen cops do all kind of crazy stuff to close cases for different reasons. But that's where I was at with the Richard Allen thing. And then they arrested him. They released a probable cause affidavit, and it kind of went away. We hadn't heard anything. The last thing I remember hearing, unless you're just on this thing every day investigating it like some of you guys are, is that he had a hearing coming up, I think, early next year. But now we get this. So let's get back to it. And while Allen has not been charged with kidnapping, prosecutors have alleged he attempted it. Now sources close to the investigation have claimed that Allen was acting with at least 2 other men and was involved in a child sex ring. And I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm fair down the middle. These other guys out front, your name just popping up, you know, and I I just got to be fair down the middle. That's not surprising. If you operating in that kind of thing, you're going to have some flunkies. You're going to have some people that's just like all right, you go on the dummy mission type thing. You're going to have somebody whose face is rarely seen. So I'm just saying, whether any of this is true or not, none of this is an out of the realm possibility, brother. I'm just going to be honest with you. And we got the shell casing at the scene and the gun allegedly matching, and we got the cat and the... All right, man. Last month, DailyMail.com released pedophile Keegan Klein, 28, of Peru, Indiana, who is currently awaiting trial on a slew of child pornography charges, was cooperating with state police and prosecutors in a bid to reduce his own charges. Sources told DailyMail.com the girls met Keegan Klein online and he arranged to meet them that day but didn't go. Instead, he set them up to be kidnapped for the porn ring. Makes sense, brother. I'm just being honest with you. I'm going to be the one to contact y'all, but somebody else going to go, so I got my alibi set up. I don't know. I try to be down the middle. During one of several police interviews reviewed by DailyMail.com, Klein admitted to soliciting underage girls for nude pictures by catfishing them, posing as teenage girl Emily Ann or hunky actor model Anthony Schatz. It was as Schatz that he communicated with German. Chillingly, Schatz was one of the last people to communicate with the girls before they took their fateful walk on Delphi's Monon High Bridge Trail. Police interrogating Klein told them they did not believe he committed the murders, but was protecting the identity of whoever did. Now the source has revealed that Klein has cut a deal with prosecutors. The search warrants on Allen's home and property were carried out based on Keegan's testimony, the source told DailyMail.com exclusively. I'm going to be honest with you, man. And now I'm going to give myself my own advice. Every suspect is innocent until. But this isn't looking good for you, brother. This looks like some very... This doesn't look like police staging scenes and evidence. This looks like some very good detective work, man. I'm going to read a little bit more, man, and then we're going to get out of here. If you guys want to get the rest of it, you can check it out on the Daily Mail. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I just got here. I'm trying to grow my platform. I'm pretty sure the big channels have already covered it that you used to watch. And thank you for being here watching it with me if you stayed this long. The source claims that Klein, from whose devices police retrieved a slew of child pornography, knows Allen and that the men met when both lived in Peru, roughly 40 miles northwest of Delphi. The source also claims that both men knew Ron Logan, whom police first pegged as a suspect in the killings, after the girls' bodies were found on his property, some 1,400 feet from his home. An FBI search warrant served on Logan's home and property dated March 17, 2017, revealed that on February 14th, the day after the killings, Logan asked a relative to provide him with a false alibi. He told a cousin to say that a friend had picked him up and taken him to a fish store between 2 p.m., 2:30, and that he didn't return home until 5:30 p.m. This is horrible, man. The last time the girls were known to be alive was at 2:13 p.m. when German made a brief cell phone recording of the now infamous bridge guy approaching with the words, "Guys down the hill." Logan's alibi was shown to be a lie, and text messages retrieved from his phone showed that he was out of his house and in the vicinity of the murders on the evening of February the 13th. The FBI document also noted Logan asked his relative to lie for him the following morning before the crimes were even discovered. Logan died at age 84 on January 24, 2022, and was never named as a suspect. But now sources have told DailyMail.com that Logan, who had a history of violence against women, was involved. According to the source, investigators believe that the plan had been for Allen to kidnap the girls and bring them to Logan's home where he and allegedly Klein would rape them. The girls were supposed to be kidnapped for the sex ring. But something went wrong and he knifed and raped one and almost decapitated the other. Logan and Klein never met the girls. I'm not going to jump out there, man. There are many YouTubers, and I do suggest you go listen to them and that have covered this case much more well. I wanted to cover it to bring some balance to it. For me, balance is not a certain person being guilty because they're male or, they're this. It doesn't, none of that matters, man. Balance means we find the people who did these horrific crimes and we hand them over to our justice system. We don't hang them in the public square. We don't shoot them behind closed bars. We don't beat them. And we don't do any of that unless we also say, number one, if any of the people we love end up in any kind of situation, then anybody hurt or victimized in those situations also get to decide how they punish our loved ones. Not, oh, you get to do the same. No. We're making the decision for how we want to punish these people who hurt people that we hear about or we love in these horrific situations. Therefore, when our loved ones victimize someone and hurt someone, those people that they hurt also get to decide that it doesn't matter what the punishment is. Just like we're free to choose, they're free to choose. Or we can do what civilized people do. We can help the authorities as much as we can find the right people, and then we can hand them over to our justice system. It sounds like in this case, the police, the detectives, law enforcement, who I'm not the greatest fan of, but I'm grateful for them at the same time. They do great work in these situations. And it sounds like they've done some great work here. Have there probably been some missteps? Of course, a lot of people have been angry with the officers in these cases. You're always going to be overly angry with the law enforcement agencies. That's because we don't control our emotions. Sometimes they do things to make us angry, but I don't think in any of these cases you have hundreds or tens and all these men and women out there doing this and the common goal is let's mess this up. I just don't believe that's so. I believe they want as much as we do to find justice and quick justice in these cases. I believe they do want to keep our community safe. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of law enforcement, but I believe they're not out here. Even though they may be doing undercover stuff, I don't believe that the majority of them are like these mass murderers who want to see our communities. And I mean, certain demographics of people, I don't mind talking about that, do need to be afraid of cops. I'm one of them. I'm black as hell. I don't care what y'all say. That's a conversation for another day I'm willing to have. But for by and large, I don't think that we have to fear cops like that. Not by and large. Not us. I'm not talking about certain demographics. I'm talking about just us. And now that's another conversation too. I might be wrong. I might have stepped in some poo-poo there. But when people are murdered, let me bring it back home and get out of here before I get myself in trouble. I'm going to retract that statement I just made. I'm telling y'all that now. When people are murdered, I don't think the officers involved are out here saying, let's mess that up. No, our hearts are welded to these situations. Their hearts are just like ours are. So let's give them the credit where they're due and give them support that they need. Because you think this is psychologically damaging, this is hurtful to us. They're seeing these bodies, they're seeing the crime scenes, they're seeing the blood, they're seeing the victims, they're talking to the families. Come on, man. I'm not the biggest fan of cops. I just try to be balanced. Let's give them a break, man. And let's remember in all of these cases, man, as we pray for families and friends and loved ones on both sides and the various people who are involved, whether they be victim or accused, as we pray for everybody, as we pray for the people who are in prison who've been falsely accused, the people who've came home from prison who have been falsely accused, the people who are affected by being falsely accused, their family, their loved ones, so many human lives being involved in all these situations. As we pray for all of them, let's do our best to keep our loved ones safe, our children safe, and let's not forget that people are not guilty until proven innocent. People are innocent until I'm gone.
Down the road, the orange bulbs outside the home of Libby's grandparents, Mike and Becky Patty, will remain lit until the case is solved.
Our job, our task is to help refresh, keep it out there.